What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's do all the housekeeping. Let's hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you are new to the channel, you're just coming in for the first time, we do these live streams Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we've been doing it now for like a 70-week live streaming streak. So if you've been watching consistently and have been like an OG member, we really do appreciate you guys. And we are just going to cover the price action today. We're going to get into some of the bullish news. We got some news about Ethereum. The altcoins are showing a lot of promise right now. The meme coins are back. So if you believe in the meme coin super cycle, this might be the launch point here. So we're going to get into that, and we have a couple things that we want to discuss that will actually give more credence towards this meme coin super cycle, and also us getting our alts to finally pump, you know. And so yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into what top chains have the top TVL. And we're going to get into the stablecoin market. We're going to get into the stablecoin market and how Solana is dominating the stablecoin market and could be the chain of choice for minting stables. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into some of the DeFi stuff. We're going to get into some tokens that we're going to keep on the radar. Some things that we can add into the bags. And yeah, so we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time today, guys. So let's do a word from the sponsors in our dreams. You know, we don't actually have any sponsors of the channel, but you know, we have hypothetical sponsors. So here's a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll get this show on the road, baby.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
hposni.com.
All right, yes, Sprotos. What is going on? Let's get the show on the road. So we're going to get into some Bitcoin TA here. So we were locked in. We were super locked in last night. Wasn't easy, but we were really, really locked in. We saw this price action. We said, you know what, the Asian markets are probably going to open up super bullish, since we did hold pretty strong on hitting over the 200-day moving average. And so we respected these levels pretty well. And so we'll go into not the 45-second chart. We want to go on the 45-minute chart, and I want to show you guys where we actually had some TA breakdown here. We were expecting, was it on the 5-minute where we really had it super tight, and we kind of expected these exact moves. And this was yesterday. So once we actually broke through this level, I thought to myself, okay, what they're going to do is maybe do a liquidity sweep. They'll smack right into this level, which it's exactly as predicted. You can see here I had the bullish case scenario. Hold on, I had the bullish case scenario, the retest, the reclaim, the retest to 92. I said, look, this is probably going to be a nice reclaim and go to 92,000. And what ended up happening was that exact move, but not without it clearing some liquidity, sweeping right here and knocking into 90 around, I guess this level would be like 90,000, like 6 or so, or yeah, 90,906. And so that's exactly what happened. So you can see here, it pushed up, it punched up, and then right at this point, it hit and swept right into that exact level. And then from there, that was the confirmation on this bounce that it was going to just freaking send. I saw it. I was like, all right, this thing's going to freaking send. So we were in a few different positions, and we also were trading on our prop valuation and successfully passed the $500 mark. and we did it with this volatility. We did it with specific coins. We used Pepe, we used Bitcoin. What else did we trade? Ethereum. We have the picture here. I said, you know what? I'm gonna wait till I'm fully successfully have locked in and passed this thing and took gains, took profits, not unrealized. Don't take any screenshots unless you lock it in. So I was like, all right, I deserve this screenshot. Bitcoin, Pepe, Solana, ETH, and this is what we used to trade our account up to the valuation, which is great. So you can see here, proof of passing. So yesterday, locked in a full almost $1,000 in one day in profits. 500 of it wasn't real money because it was a valuation pass. Now I can actually trade with their money. let's really practice good risk management this time so we can keep the account for longer than 2 days. So, and then with actually locking in profits, you can see here we locked in profits on Walrus. We're going to get into some of these coins. We're going to get the altcoin breakdown analysis, but first I want to show you guys what's happening with Bitcoin and why it's selling off right now, okay? Because we had a massive pump. We had massive, liquidity coming to the markets. We had a kind of a decoupling from the stock market. The stock market was down 2.5%, 3%, but then we had Bitcoin and crypto pumping. And we had gold doing exactly as predicted. We're going to get into that. I mean, we got so much to break down in terms of our macro TA that has been predicted perfectly. I mean, I couldn't have predicted gold any better. If you go back, it would be tricky to find because I live stream almost every day. But when we've talked about gold and we were charting macro gold, we saw a massive cup and handle forming on the weekly chart of gold. And so it hit that target exactly. And so what is happening now is that Bitcoin is respecting the cup and handle pattern on the weekly macro trend. And so that target is $150,000 for one Bitcoin. Because if you go on how gold just perfectly hit the level of the cup and handle breakout, which we'll show you, Bitcoin's going to do the same thing. Gold is a leading bullish indicator for other hard assets that big money and institutions are going into. You don't have to, it's not that hard to see right now. So all you had to do was just look at gold and thinking, dang, okay, gold is breaking out, then surely Bitcoin is to follow. So let me show you why Bitcoin is going down. Why is it going down right now? Well, the CME gap needed to get filled. And so there's a massive gap in between these prices right now. If you go to the 4 hour, look at this gap. I think this gap is going to get filled because look, we punched up really, really hard right here from 83, from this level. We had a nice order block. You can see where these big order blocks are coming in. These are big orders and high liquidity that were sitting at 82. You can see it sitting at 86 right here, and where these orders really, really pushed the price up, and we had the bulls getting control. But now that we had the sell-off and we had the shorts get liquidated, a lot of shorts were going to be liquidated at these levels, so they cascaded short liquidations. And so now they can be doing the same thing where they're going to sweep the lows again, fill the gap, and bring Bitcoin back to 91.8. So you can see it right here. And also, you can see that there is another a liquidity block that's right under. So I can see something like this right now in the short term, that we had this punch up. We get a retest down and fill the gap. And then we push up into the next level, which is the 100K Bitcoin. So we're going to have to probably fill this gap. It's filling right now, actually. If you look at it and look at kind of where the money is flowing, and also we finally rolled over on the RSI. We rolled over on the RSI, so we were overbought now, and you can see the MACD the buyers are getting exhausted, so it could histogram down, pinch a little bit, fill the gap, and this could be what we're doing here in the short term for Bitcoin. But we always want to remember too that just because something is overbought doesn't mean it can't continue to be overbought. We could see a bullish divergence happen here, and it could reverse sooner if volume comes in and the market decides to continue the momentum to the upside. Now, I'm more on the side that it's probably going to do this. Markets like to do this more than keep giving us, the opportunities. They want to make you feel like you missed the opportunity so then you can be on the other side of the market and not on the right side of the market. In terms of the market makers, it benefits them way more if you are getting liquidated. So in the short term here, I'm seeing this. You can see it kind of on the CME, but I do want to say that it's a possibility to continue the momentum. But according to this wick right here, that is showing otherwise. You can see that we had a big order block of sells in the red up at the top here, and also resistance that we hit at the top of this candle. So it's respecting price action. So if you want to kind of trade off of this, you can go into the 4-hour, look at the price action, look at these candles and say, okay, well, that was pretty respected, eh? And also you can see where even the bounce point of where we had support at 86, where this also is respected as well from this bounce point. You can see here, good support, good support resistance flip line right here. And then now we're in a area of other resistance and sellage, which does match up pretty well with what we're talking about with the CME gap here that has formed in this area here. But let's check out the altcoins. So guys, what altcoins are you trading? What are you buying right now? We're going to get into what we are buying and what we're DCAing into. And we'll probably actually spot buy some stuff live. And we might even, if you guys encourage me and, give me all the financial advice, I might even buy something that you like spot just because you love it so much. And we'll do it on OURBIT. Shout out to OURBIT. We were hanging out in the spaces last night, just shooting the shit with the community, talking about memes. And so that was fun. Shout out to Red Kev. And so we're going to be spot buying. We have some profits that we took. So we're going to do what we do is we spot buy and spot into our bags with our profits, so we can keep continuing to be a full degen and having all our money in crypto. Most people in crypto, if you're a true degen, you have like $10 in your bank account and you have thousands in crypto. That's the appropriate way. That means you're really sticking it to the man. You're really showing that system who's boss. You're like, I got $10,000 in crypto and $10 in USD. I'll pay you in Pepe. I'll pay you in the ticker, baby. Do you take the ticker? Do you take the ticker? But all right, guys. I think that's good for now for the Bitcoin TA. So let's get into some of the news. Let's get into some of the breaking news. And make sure you guys are smashing up the likes and doing all the stuff, because there's 8 people in here, but there's only 5 likes. That means that a few of you that are in here watching right now, you're in here, but you don't like it? You got to hit the like button, because if we don't get past 10 likes before the first 10 minutes of the live stream, YouTube just goes, you're trash. You'll never amount to nothing, kid. And then they don't put my stream out, and I end up, being a paper boy. I got to toss papers out to the houses and say, read all about it. Read all about it. Bitcoin's pumping. All right. So let's get into some of the news. We have a pro Bitcoin new SEC chair. So SEC chair So check it out. So let's listen to this message.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm really honored by your trust and confidence that you placed in me to head the SEC. But I really must say the Oval Office has never looked better. One could really describe it as glistening, and I've heard stories about it, and it's true. It's the touch of a confident president leading with optimism towards an American golden age. So thank you for that. And so to my wife, Sarah, and to our sons, Stuart, Peter, and Henry, thank you all for your steadfast love and support. I'm grateful for the sacrifices that each of you have made to enable me to serve America. And thanks to Secretary Bessent for administering the oath as well. But a note about my family real quickly. Today would have been my father's 114th birthday. Colonel Atkins was a veteran of World War II and Korea. And yesterday would have been my late mother's birthday. So it seems altogether fitting to honor them and the example that they've set so that their son could stand here speaking to you all today. So to my friends, my family, my colleagues who've worked with me throughout my career and helped make my appointment by President Trump even possible, thank you for your work and dedication. There are many who quietly serve the nation in mostly unsung roles, and I continue to be the beneficiary of your professionalism and good judgment. So at the helm of the SEC, I can confidently say it is a new day. It's time for the SEC to end its waywardness and return to its core mission that Congress set for it: investor protection, fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and capital formation. I will work to protect.
Trump's sitting there. He's like, just don't look into the Trump coin, please. Can you just not look at on-chain data for Trump and Melania? Can we just skip that? We'll just skip that.
Protect investors from fraud, keep politics out of how our securities laws and regulations are applied, and advance clear rules of the road that encourage investment in our economy to the benefit of Americans. A top priority of my chairmanship will be to provide a firm regulatory foundation for digital assets through a rational, coherent, and principled approach. We will work to ensure that the United States is the best and most secure place in the world to invest and to do business. So, Mr. President, again, thank you very much for your graciousness in extending such a warm welcome to my family and me today in this storied room. I look forward to working with you, with colleagues in your administration, and with Congress to advance your agenda to bolster the economy and build on U.S. leadership of the global market. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I like his tone. He's got a good tone. He's got a good demeanor. He seems like he's passionate. He's probably got a really good track record. And Gary Gensler's like body language and kind of how his approach was, it was hard to trust Gensler. And I think that's why Gensler ended up becoming one of the, enemies and kind of like an arch enemy of crypto and a kind of the butt of he was one of the main characters. And so it was really hard to just even want to listen to Gary Gensler because he would be like, ba-ba-ba-ba, ma-ma-ma-ma, alaka-blah hucksters, and he uses like this really old language. And so that's why I think people got really annoyed with Gensler and then also his actions. So let's see how this guy does. We'll see how Paul Atkins does. If he's pro Bitcoin, pro crypto, it'll be his top priority. Let's see how this turns out. But looks like also some of the news with the Trump tariff. We'll just say Trump tariff news. Caroline Levitt just exposed fake news and how they will spin Trump's tariffs. Hold on, this is April 4th. This is old. Hold on. Where is... No, I need the new tariff China news. Oh yeah, it's Benjamin Cohen, or which one is it? I had a notification for it. I think it was from this guy. There we go. Yeah, Trump, we will have a fair trade deal with China. Let's see, where was the best? We continue to have a strong dollar policy, adjust on markets. If China is serious about rebalancing the economy, U.S. can also rebalance. There was one of these that Benjamin Cohen replied to, and he's like, well, what was it all for? This, all the tariff stuff. And I was like, well, it was for insider trading. I'll tell you that. they were able to make a killing. All right, so looks like this really quick. We'll go back to the news, but I just want to check on Bitcoin, show you guys what is happening here on the 1 minute chart. You can actually see it on the 1 minute chart. These levels being respected. Like I said, I think this gap will be filled. The price swung up really fast, and so a lot of the times when it does that, it leaves gaps in the order book, especially on the CME futures market. So you can see here that price will probably end up back into these areas. And also, I want to just give a shout out to everyone who's here. Thank you so much. Shout out to Donato, Stay Calm, French Toaster. We got Batman in the house, XN. Make sure you're letting yourselves be known in the chat, and I'll give you a shout out. And also, if you have some coins that you want me to break down TA wise, and we'll pull them up on the weekly chart and show you if we are on the run. So let's do it. Yeah, Bitcoin looking like it's going to fill that gap. I told myself I locked in so hard yesterday and made a really good profit. And why would I go in today and start trying to trade again? No. So I'm going to chill on the breakout prop. I have a fresh account, though. I have a fresh $5,000 account that I can trade. But I'm just going to take it easy. Like, I'm just going to wait till tomorrow. I'm going to see what the price action's like. I'm going to let Bitcoin dump or do whatever it's going to do. And then I'll find a good entry. Because then I don't even really have to put in that many trades. I could just put in one trade and I can just call it a day on that one. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to make, small, consistent gains on the chart. Small, consistent gains on the chart. I like that. Business and finance, altcoins are trending. BTC's trending. Doge is trending. So maybe we should do a quick. We'll do a quick gem hunting. So here's our gems that we've been eyeing. Sui has been really respecting levels, eyeing that 200-day moving average. Any of the coins and altcoins that have been trading back up to its 200-day moving average are strong. So that's what we're looking at. Look, Brett is actually getting very close back to its 200-day moving average, which is amazing because Brett was beat down just like all the other meme coins. And now we're actually getting a pretty decent respected level pump on this previous support. So it's looking pretty tasty for Brett. And Brett actually recently went up 35-40% on the day. So it really started to crush up. And I think as a reminder, this is one of those coins, just like SHIB, just like Pepe, just like the strong Ethereum coins that are paired in ETH. So you got to remember, like, if the coins are paired in ETH for their liquidity pool, whether it be on Uniswap or Aerodrome Finance or wherever the hell it is, it's using ETH. So when ETH pumps, it brings up the value of the liquidity of the project of the coin. So when ETH pumps, it sends some of these coins flying and really fast too. So you think ETH went up. Let's look at ETH. ETH went up yesterday. Oh, and by the way, look, I told you. I was like, look, ETH, I charted ETH and I said it's doing some kind of, on the 4 hours, some kind of inverse head and shoulders. I said, look, it's going to trade up. It's going to hit that resistance of the shoulder. It's going to match that shoulder. And all we have to do is just stay in the range. Just stay in this range right where this price line is. So you see this blue line. And as long as we stay in the range, then we can eye 1895 or 1900, get very close to getting up into 2K ETH. And then that's as long as the Ethereum Foundation doesn't decide right when we're making some progress, they'd want to effing sell. And so we got to make sure that does not happen. I don't know what you got to do. Pray really hard, but that they seem to like to do that. When ETH is starting to have some momentum, they sell off. So let's not do that this time, okay? Okay. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay. So ETH pumping means other strong coins are going to pump as well. And just as a reminder, Ohm is not coming back. That is dead. Now you see why you don't want to try and catch a giant falling scammy knife. Not fun. Let's take that out of the list. Okay. We got Yo-Yo Mars. What's going on, Yo-Yo Mars? Yeah, ETH BTC actually bounced. ETH BTC is going up. That's cool. ETH BTC going up. I wonder how all of the BTC pairs are doing. Sol BTC. Oh, yeah, stay calm. I can definitely do that. Okay, so basically comparison chart of Brett against ETH. So if you do, I just have to, I got a lot of stuff on here, so let me clear this and let me get all these lines and all this crap out of the way because it's really unnecessary. Okay, so we know now that's actually that's pretty clean. That's a pretty clean inverse head and shoulders. Okay. All right. So let's put Brett on here. So you can see that Brett has basically just been following ETH like perfectly. Then you could also add in the other coins like, what was the one that really followed ETH well when it was pumping was Floki. Look, you could see Floki follows it really, really pretty spot on. Look at that. Pepe. But Brett, I'm still pretty bullish on Brett. It's kind of sometimes you have to see if a coin can really come back. Like if it can actually come back, then you have the signal to be like, okay, this is why it's like the ticker's so important to me of a coin that even though it can get beat down like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, can it come back? Can it come back? That's what I like to see. I like to see that. So Brett has been one of those high liquidity tokens. If you just go base, liquidity, Brett, it was one of those coins that got over $1 billion market cap. It got over that $1 billion market cap in 5 months or 6 months, I think. So it was a pretty awesome feat. for a coin where it went. So let's look at the market cap, and it did it a few times. So right here, it went over that 1.2, almost 2. It went to 2 billion at the peak right here, pretty close right there. Went down, consolidated, redistribution. Whales sold right here pretty heavy. You know, the people that got in early around here, they were like, all right, I'm up $1 million. I'm going to sell. So they sold. Then we had, you know, more confidence come back into memes. You can see around the time here too, this was, you know, the Trump pump. So you can see the Trump pump. So here you had to make a choice. You know, you had to make a choice like, okay, is this thing coming back along with all the other things? And it did. So it pushed that. Then broke a new all-time high of actually getting over to close to 3 billion. And then now it did basically what a lot of other memes did and just get capitulated and a kind of a bit of a rotation into the AI coins around this time, where the AI coins are getting a lot of the market share, the pump fund tokens and all that stuff. And then you got fart coin. So here, I think truly what is the difference of Brett and other coins is that I think the holders are actually real. Most of the holders are actually real. It's not like a fabricated holder or, you know, a fabricated community. It's actually a pretty decent community. Like the people that have chosen Brett as one of their favorite meme coins, you know, they've really stuck by it. And, you know, maybe they've sold, but hey, if they're buying back, I'll buy back with them. So if anything, I think this coin could be another one that makes it back to the $1 billion market cap region and then beyond, which could be a pretty easy trade too, if you think about it. You know, from here, you know, 400% move to the upside, or even just pulling a 243, not too bad. And so you can see this with the Trump pump. You can see this when ETH was at the levels of in where it was in December. So we can compare it. Go to the daily chart, and we can see how this. It's a little tricky. I have to like. I think I messed it up. Yeah, I totally messed it up. I'm gonna have to take those off now. I'll like screw this chart up. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, ETH. You can see ETH on that Trump pump. We were like at 4,000. We were at like 4,000, almost peaking. So so it just shows that we need ETH. We need ETH. And so people have been asking, what is Vitalik even doing? What is he doing to make ETH better? Like, what are they doing? What are the devs doing? Okay, well, we have a bit of a breakdown. We know that Ethereum and Vitalik proposes replacing the Ethereum virtual machine contract language with the risk V instruction set architecture, which I have no freaking idea what that means. It probably just means that, okay, they're going to use a different type of contract programming language that's, I guess, it improves the speed and it's more efficient. And so Ethereum's it's like to make the execution layer more efficient. So his suggestion aims to address scaling issues in the network, which is why layer 2s exist to begin with, was the whole idea of scaling and being able to have faster transactions and just you have the EVM as the settlement layer for these chains. And you got to think about it in terms of like throughput. I guess you wouldn't want to have everyone using Ethereum on the Ethereum mainnet. You just would want the mainnet to just be like a different type of settlement layer. And then if you think about it, the layer 2s exist so then you can have a separate like scan ecosystem. So then you can have it separate. So it's not all bundled into one chain, which would probably be a disaster. So if you think about it, the layer 2 idea is genius, and also gives us an opportunity to speculate into other coins, you know, like especially with the gaming tokens, like gaming has all the side chains and all this stuff. So it's like, I'm glad, like keep working on Ethereum, keep doing the layer 2s. It's all great. But really, we just wanted to pump. We just wanted to pump. So, okay, cool. Is this going to make it pump? Hopefully. And so this is good. This is bullish. I'll just say it's bullish. Okay, so here's some other news. Radium. If you guys are familiar with Radium, it's where a lot of the DEX protocol for Solana and where a lot of the liquidity comes from. So if you go to liquidity and you see all the liquidity pools that are set up, like for Fartcoin, Popcat, Giga Chad, you got Griffin, Goat, you know, Swarms, all this, you know, it's all mostly Radium. You got some that are on Orca. You got, you know, liquidity on Orca as well. But they have launched their own token tool. So their own token launch tool. It's called Launch Lab. So to compete with Pump Fund, the new platform enables users to launch tokens that tap directly into Radium's liquidity pools. So 25% of all transaction fees will be allocated to buying Ray, its native token. So this could actually make the Radium token even more valuable. And you got to remember that the protocols and the DEXs and the chains that actually generate revenue and are making money, those might actually do well, like in terms of, like, you know, say stock valuation. It's like when these companies release their quarterly earnings and it's super bullish, and then it's like, okay, cool, this, you know, the stock has a potential to pump. It's the same kind of deal in crypto. You got to think about it almost like that. It's like, okay, TVL being generated, you know, on these chains, and then you just look, okay, these chains, whether they have a native token that's for the gas or not, you can invest in the token itself, and then you can just go right down the line and look at all the different tokens and protocols that are on that chain, what's generating the most revenue and generating the most liquidity, and buy that token. There you go. It could be as simple as that. And then you could just, from this list right here, you say top TVL on chains, Ethereum, Solana. Solana is really getting up there because of the stable coins. So you see the stablecoin growth on Solana is really increasing. You can see since the beginning of 2020, or sorry, April 2024. So a year ago, we were at 3 trillion, or sorry, not 3 trillion, 3 billion, and it has just increased over the past year to $13 billion of stablecoins on Solana. So this is what we've been talking about, that you have to pay attention to the stable coins being minted on these chains. So another one is Tron. So, and also BNB. So Binance is minting a lot of stablecoin, and Binance is being used. Binance and Tron and Solana and Ethereum are being used by the US government, by Trump's team, also to mint stablecoins. So this is huge. Am I still live? I lost my chat, but I don't know what happened. Yeah. We all need the Lambo. All right, so check it out. So this is interesting. You got to remember, TVL is important. Arbitrum actually has really, really good data. If you think about in terms of addresses, I think if you go to DeFi Llama, and we check out the chains here, and we go to Arbitrum, There is 796 protocols on Arbitrum. There's 267,000 active addresses, and in the past 7 days and the past day has been increasing its value of TVL. And you can see that the stable coins are increasing. You can see that the stable coin is 2.9 billion of stables. That is, I mean, come on. And then look at Avalanche catching up. And then you can see, look, Sui. So look at three coins right there that are still under the 200-day moving average. And we can accumulate them right now before they freaking fly to like over 350, 400%. It's like a cakewalk right now, but we want to make it so complicated. We want to try and gamble on these meme coins. But we literally could just buy Arbitrum, Sui, and Avalanche, and Sonic. And look at Polygon. Polygon, stables, 1.9 billion in stables. You remember Polygon's poll token. Look at the addresses, active addresses, over 500,000. These are the metrics that we always need to remember and look and pay attention to, because at the end of the day, this is what actually counts. Value in the chain, stable coins, and DEX volume, liquidity, where the money's moving, and it's kind of coming in these directions. You got Polygon, Sonic, Avalanche, Sui, Arbitrum, Base. Look, Barachain getting up there. All right, awesome. We almost got the stream up to 20 likes. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And let's see, I want to go through the chat. Shout out to Emmanuel. Is asking, where are my glasses? I was giving myself a break from wearing them, I guess. Wanted to take them off for a moment. Now I can. They're really dirty, so the light, my studio light, is giving me like a wicked glare. And Emmanuel's asking, did I pass my funding challenge? Yes, I did. I actually did. We passed it last night, and it was, I'm not going to lie, it was not easy, and it was a little stressful. It was a little stressful, and it was not easy because this price action was a little it was a little choppy. It was kind of and I was hitting stop losses and re-entering back into trades, and I took losses, and I made profits, went back and forth. I mean, my account was going from where I made, 100, 250, 300 right off the rip, went back down into the hundreds, then went back up to almost 420, like into 420, and then back down into 200. So it was like this. So my emotions were like, I was like, oh my gosh. So don't think just because you have $5,000 you can just easily make 500. It's not easy. You have to have a strategy. My strategy is that I stop loss trailing stop losses, and lock in gains. Even if there is a potential that this thing could run, I still locked in the gains. I see. You just have to be like robotic, and at that point, you'll start to realize that, oh, that's how it is. It kind of goes like this, but as long as you're going like this, and you're not going like this, because when it goes like this and you have no stop loss, you just blew your account. You just told the market that you're a genius, that you know everything, and that everything that you think is going to happen to the market is 100% correct. You're crazy at that point. You're telling the market that you are God and that you know where it's going to go, which is false. So that's how you get wrecked. That's how you blow your account. And so what you have to do is do exactly what I did. And that's how you will actually pass. That's how you'll pass. you have to go in like a ninja, and you have to look at these smaller time frames along with the bigger time frames. Use the 4 hour. Use the 4 hour to see your previous price structure. For instance, on Radium, you can see here that previous price structure is being respected right here in these levels where we bounced previously. You can see support right here, support, retest of the level, double bottom breakout W, and then you can make those moves. So get your price action and your levels on the daily and the 4 hour. Then put that and combine that into a strategy of looking at Bitcoin on the 1 minute chart. Look at Bitcoin on the 1 minute chart. You can see where price will smack into levels, and you can actually get entries right in on the 1 minute. But on those entries, you want to set an amount of a stop loss where you know if the moment when you put this trade in, the market goes against your thesis, you're saying, I'm going to lose $10. I'm going to lose 15. And then the moment that it starts to go, like for instance, right here, you get a trade in right here at 92.5. And now you're on the 1 minute right here, boom. And now you're up in profit. You just made that 0.5% move. This point, whatever, 0.2, 0.3, however much percent it moves on the 1 minute. You're going to actually trail your stop loss up. You're going to bring it up. I can probably show you better on here. So say I got this entry right here. Look, Walrus trade on the bottom, same setup on the 15 minute, double bottom. You can see the trigger, 1, 2, go to the moon. And so in that entry, even though it broke out, and I was like, okay, sweet. I took profit, and then I set a stop loss. I can do it right now. So I'm going to set a stop loss at, let's see. Just do it at 0. So now my stop loss is there. But then what I could also do is add in a stop loss or take profit here at this price. So if the market wants to swing back down, I can still lock in profits here. I've already taken profits on the trade, and you can't lose. So the moment that you do that on your trades, that is how you can, and you do that consistently. Doesn't mean you're not going to acquire a couple losses, because that's what happened with this account, with the breakout account. You know, I got it up to a point, and then you might take a couple losses, because not every trade you're taking is going to be like, especially if you're scalping. But something like this, you know, you get it in that level, and you still do that stop loss trail, and you still do it. So say we got here, and then it's here. I'm still going to put my stop loss and trail it right here. Now if the market's going in your favor, then you can keep trailing it up, or keep it at break even, whatever. You want to just say, I'm either willing to just, like, you know, risk not, you know, getting anything and just have it go right back down into that price. That's also fine too. That's a trade. That's a good trade. That's actually a pretty decent trade if you put in an entry and it goes up and it goes back down, and you just round tripped it just right back to 0, but you didn't lose the money. You should be so proud of yourself. You shouldn't even be mad. I've gotten so frustrated and gotten mad about that, but then you got to think about that. That's a win. You know, that's a win. You stopped yourself from losing money. You stopped yourself from losing money. So we have to retrain our brains and reprogram ourselves to take the wins and take some of these trades, even sometimes having to take the loss, where you're like, okay, I really didn't do my practice my risk management, and now you're stuck in a trade and you're at a loss and you're down 50%. Do you let it get liquidated, or do you take the L on the 50%? Another really key way that you can learn a little something about yourself, and then what decision you would make in that situation. Put a 1 in the chat if you have been in that situation, and how you've handled it. And I want to know how, and tell me how, like, let me know how you've handled that particular situation. If you got trapped, now you're either going to get liquidated, take the L, or you're going to hold it until you think it's going to recover. All right, are we filling gaps? Did we fill the gap? All right, okay, we went into it. We wicked into it. You can see we wicked into it a little bit. Being put in timeout, Andre. All right, so French Toaster said, take the L. All right, we've actually been watching the Coinbase chart. The Coinbase chart's been pretty interesting. Ooh, look at it, bounced right off that level, that 91.7. Woo! Look at that bounce off that 91.7. That's a beautiful bounce. Boom. Smacked right into that level. Wow. Man, look at that. That was like that is like textbook, man. That just hit exactly. Woo! Look at that. And let me see, there's some orders. About a nice little order. Oh, there's a little more down here. I was like, there was no liquidity right here, but it looks like we got a nice sell right here. It's trying to reclaim and retest this resistance that we just hit, which is good, and we got some volume coming in as well. This is on the Bitstamp chart, but let's look at the Coinbase chart. Coinbase price is a little higher on the high side, signaling that it's getting more arbitrage opportunities here on Coinbase. Look, see 93,100, getting a nice pump here. Let's go. Let's check the trades. So we've taken some profits on these. We've taken some decent profits. But what we're going to do now, since we do have some extra margin, we're going to add some margin in here. So when we want to take more profits, we have the margin to be able to do so, because that's how you can actually keep the contract open longer. Because you got to remember, when you're using your margin, say you used $50 and then you're up $100, and then, or you're up 100%, you take 50% of the trade. Now you have $25 in margin and $50 left in your profits. So at a point when you want to keep scalping profits off the trade, you eventually will, then the trade will be closed once you have zero margin left in the contract. It's closed. So what I've done before with trades that have been successful and I've wanted to keep them open, especially when we're in an uptrend, is that I'll re-add margin, but then I'll also limit order into some areas of resist, areas of support where, say here, if I wanted to re-enter into walrus whenever we hit a nice, sell off, could limit order back into here, and then you can, catch a price movement from here to that. It's a little tricky though, because sometimes if it's not a continuation in an uptrend, you limit order here and then you just go down here, then you've readjusted your average price for a downtrend on a long, and that can kind of go against you. So adding the margin is a little bit easier because then, and also safer, because then you're just adding margin. You're not limit ordering and changing your average price. I know a lot of info there, but I think that'll help you guys if you're trying to get into trading and you're using, small margin, high leverage, whatever it may be. All of these things that I just explained can help you in a dialed in, edged strategy, and you can make adjustments and mold it and smooth it or do whatever you need to do with it that fits your style. But all the basics and the fundamentals that I just broke down are across the board. You can use in any molded, updated strategy for how you would want to go into these markets. Now, I know it works. It's proven. When I do it and I stick with it and I'm robotic, it works. I have the proof here. This isn't a fake account. This isn't a freaking dummy account. This is real money. This is my money. And this is also the breakout account. Like I was showing you guys, this is a real account now. This is real money that I can now trade with because I passed it with making $500 yesterday. It works. I'm proving it right now. So you can go pay for a trading course all day or you want, or you can go watch, all the grifter channels. But if you come here and watch the actual true alpha, this is the alpha. I'm showing you right now what you can do to trade this market. And I'm not guaranteeing you anything. I'm not guaranteeing you success. I'm not guaranteeing you anything. I'm just telling you, when you follow a strategy, it works. When you don't follow it, you'll see that why it works. It's as simple as that. XN is asking if anybody still likes Turbo. Let's check Turbo on the chart here. Yeah, Turbo, if you guys remember, it's been out a year, and it's kind of one of those OG tokens around in this era of MOG and Pepe, the ticker. Let's check it. Let's get back. Liquidity a little thin. So for the market cap being 328 million and the liquidity being 436, don't really like that. If you think of the price, we get, some major sell-offs here, and there's just no liquidity to actually support any type of real price action here for sustainability. Don't know. Because I just think about something like on-chain liquidity for, ticker is 4.9 million and the market cap is 63 million. That's more relative to what, that makes more sense. So if the market cap for Turbo is 300 something and then the liquidity is literally under $1 million, how is that going to play out? I believe Pepe and the ticker can get to their path. We need ETH. That's it. That's all we need. We just need ETH to go. We just need ETH to give us what we want, baby. But look, ETH BTC is going up. Look at ETH BTC. This is crazy. ETH BTC on the 10-minute looks like we got a cup and handle. Look at ETH BTC. Actually, it could actually pump. It could pump and go up to 0.02. Do I like Pepe over Brett? Yes. If I'm in a hierarchy, a coin that I feel really good about holding is Pepe. But actually, you know what? To prove that I do like Brett, though, let's buy some Brett right now. I want to buy some Brett. Let's buy some Brett. I want to spot buy Brett. And shout out to OURBIT for having such a good exchange that works. Simple. You can go between the SEX, the DEX. You can so many different network capabilities with withdrawals and deposits. Stablecoin, off and on ramping with all the popular networks that are easy to be able to go back and forth. This exchange really is my favorite. And if you guys haven't tested this exchange out yet and are just checking out what they did with the airdrop and what they have to offer, it's really good. And I don't get paid to say it. In crypto we have affiliates and we all have our links and stuff, but legit, this exchange has been outperforming every exchange I've ever used, hands down. It really is a really great product, and I like that they're bullish memes. They make awesome merch, and so yeah, I'm super bullish on OURBIT. I think they're doing a great job, and hopefully we get to meet some of the people in the team in person, and maybe we get them on the channel or something, because we really been liking it. We really like it. All right, so let's buy some Brett. So we have some favorites here. So you can, and what's cool is you can get even these old school OG coins like Bell's Coin and Lucky Coin, which are, if you know the lore, Lucky Coin and Bell's Coin was the inspiration in first before Dogecoin. The Bell's Coin was the inspiration for the creator of Doge. And it was a play off of Farmville, the Bell's Coin in Farmville. And then Lucky Coin is in that lore of the chain of history. So you can get these on OURBIT. So I love that. But you can get your SPX, your Bobo, your Ponky, your Brett, all that stuff. Yeah, you didn't know that, guys? Go down the rabbit hole. There's some rabbit hole stuff about Bell's Coin and Lucky Coin. And I think I bookmarked it. I should have bookmarked it. I hope I bookmarked it because it's such a cool thread. Did I not bookmark it? Son of a gun. I gotta go. Let's just go to Lucky Coin Foundation. Yep, the Lucky Coin Foundation. And then you can see, here's the, look. BTC 2008. Then you got Litecoin 2011. And look, forked off of Litecoin was Lucky Coin in 2013. And then Bell's Coin was also in there. Bell's Coin was around the same time. And then you have 2013 Dogecoin. So here's the trail of the lore. Pretty cool, eh? All right, so let's spot buy some Brett. So here's how you would spot buy some Brett. If you don't have any liquidity or stables in your account, what you would do is go to deposit. You click on deposit, and then you're going to send in, maybe you could send in ETH or whatever, send in whatever coin you'd like, and make sure you're picking the right network, copying the address, making sure everything checks out. And then once you do that, you get your stuff in here. Say you sent in ETH. Then you're going to go to ETH, you're going to type in ETH here and go to ETH USDT. And then you're going to go to market, and then you're going to see however much ETH, say you put in like 0.2 ETH. You're going to see that 0.2 ETH right there. Then you're going to go and sell it. Once you sell it, you're going to have USDT. It's going to look like that. Now, and say, okay, I sold that. Now I got 91 USDT. So now I'm going to go and say, all right, cool. Now I'm ready to spot buy some Brett. So I'm going to go Brett USDT. You see the chart. You can see on the daily, the dang thing is still down, 4 cents, and the thing was at 20 cents. I mean, if you're for the long term, pretty decent buy. So we're not gonna buy the full clip of 91. We'll just do half. So market, buy $44 worth, and now we got some spot Brett. And because AVAX is still so cheap and there's so much bullishness on AVAX, and it's been one of the coins that is just getting so close to getting right back into its 200-day moving average, and then just going to crush up, probably hitting these levels again. A lot of bullishness on AVAX, so I'm gonna spot buy some AVAX. Literally can get 2 AVAX right now for $22 for 1 AVAX. So now, once you do that, then you can go into your spot. You can go to your wallets. You can go look at what we just bought. You can go to spot. You can see we have the OURBIT token, their meme token, the BITCH token. We spot bought some ticker. We spot bought some AVAX and some Brett. So what we're doing is we're using our profits that we are extracting from this market and then going into our bags that are on the low side, that we have a pretty, damn good chance of getting back into the all-time highs and seeing where our portfolio was really peaking, how it was in January, and see those numbers and even more. We have to have some patience, my friends, some patience. I hope this live demonstration of how you would put in a spot buy and get liquidity into this account is helping you. All right, so we have $100. We have $104 left, to trade with here in the futures account. So we can choose to keep that in there, or we can take half of it out and maybe say, all right, well, I'm going to buy $50 worth of Bitcoin and just continue to DCA into Bitcoin. All right, we appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we started streaming at 11, so we are, I guess we're about at the point. Yeah, we're about at the point. I think I gave enough alpha. If I don't have 1,000 people in here yet, they ain't coming in. But all the people that are in here currently, I really, really appreciate every single one of you for tuning in and giving me the chance to break down some of the strategies and the things that I've been learning on the way with this the crypto journey that we're all on. Hope it helped. Get all these lines all off this freaking chart. It's too many lines. clean the chart up. Clean it up. Yeah, this is good. This is looking really good on the weekly. Nice inverse head and shoulders on the weekly. You can see it playing out. You got that nice structure here. Retesting, and we're going to be above 100K here very soon, my friends. You just got to look at the weekly. Just look at the weekly and you can see it. The RSI too looks really good. You can see it's bullish diverging on the MACD. You can see the sellers, you know, from, you know, this kind of downtrend is exhausted. Once we get across here, look at what happened when we had the exhaustion and a cross of the moving averages right here, blue going over the orange line, which is about to happen right here. We had an explosion, like a massive explosion. We went up 100, or no, we went up like 60%. So now if we go, now I'm just telling you, remember what we said of the price of where we think we could go here and where it leads up to. It's literally, you can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't make it up. 60%, 150,000. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. But just everyone calling for RIP, you know, Bitcoin. I'm shorting from here to 50K. Rest in peace. All right. We'll see you later, guys. Thanks for coming in. Make sure you check out all the links in the description of the channel. OURBIT right there. BLOFIN. PHEMEX. BLOFIN right now is actually matching your deposits, so check that out. But then also you want to deposit into OURBIT because then you're getting bonuses there too. And then PHEMEX, they're doing trading competitions, so there's opportunities for that. So any of these exchanges are really great to go back and forth in between. PHEMEX, BLOFIN, OURBIT, that's kind of what I've been doing. And they all have their bells and whistles. And then also, if you want to go to the Bitcoin conference and get cheap tickets and use my offer code, use Dano and use this link right here, and you will get a nice little juicy discount on your Bitcoin tickets. All right, well, without further ado, we will see you on the next live stream. We might live stream later today. Actually, we'd like to live stream later today and see how the price action is, and maybe we'll put a trade in on the breakout prop if we're seeing some good price action. All right, we hope to see you on the next one. Oh yeah, stay calm. Definitely check out OURBIT. Honestly, it really is. Like, I'm not even trying to, like, you know, obviously, like, full transparency. You sign up with my link and trade on my link, like, I get a commission. I get a kickback. It's like, I don't have any paid groups. I don't have any, you know, I don't have a Patreon. So, like, literally the best way that you could directly support the channel is just like trade on my links. Trade on my links. And but what's cool is that this particular exchange, like, it's you. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Like, you'll actually have a lot of fun. You'll end up using it more than all your other ones. That's what happened with me. I mean, I've tested everything. I mean, I've tested just about everything, and at the end of the day, this one is the best because I've gone back to it every time. I can get my orders are respected. They go in easily. The order book is respected by the market value and price. Like, it's just like there's all these things. Like, look, seeing your P&L, like seeing where your stop losses are, like seeing all this stuff on the screen, like actually having a good, you know, chart in here from TradingView. having good network support, like having actually like adding the DEX, like, look, I can literally go right into DEX trading in a second on Sol, ETH, and Binance Smart Chain. And then boom, go right back in. Oh, and the fees are cheap. The fees by far are cheaper than PHEMEX and across. I think the fees are very similar to like MEXC. So it's almost like 0.02 maker, taker 0.04. So for futures trading, it's like great. So yeah, you're not going to get killed on fees or anything like that. And honestly, pretty soon, like I might set up a copy trade. Like I might actually have a copy trading group, and I'll like we'll start to have like some to where you could actually go in and copy trade me. So then you can get wrecked as well. No, just kidding. But yeah, you'll like it. Check it out. But like I've said before, you guys can, it's good to have multiple ones. Like you'll end up using one more than the other. That's just kind of how it is. But it's good to have, like when you look at your phone and you have the finance folder, you need to have like 7 to 8 different exchanges. I mean, you just need to have them because it's just the nature of it. It's just the nature of it. You just need to be able, because you just don't know. Any platform could go belly up out of nowhere because some stupid thing, that's what happened with Voyager, FTX. So, it's just like Celsius, the platform. So that's why you don't want to really have like all your money on one account. You don't want to have everything, all your eggs in one basket. You got to have it diversified. That's why it's good to have like cold storage, hot wallets, all that stuff. Like, look, I got cold storage. I got Bitcoin on here, and this is like Bitcoin, like, and it makes it more to where you really like, look, this is my Bitcoin. I'm just gonna I'm gonna hold it, and it feels like you're holding it like more secure, and that you're less likely to try and chuck it on the market and sell it and do stuff with it. But then have pieces of Bitcoin in a hot wallet. So then it's just like you gotta have stuff diversified. We've told you this, we've taught you this, and hopefully you've been listening. We've made the mistake. See, we've made the mistakes. If you're new and you're coming in, you don't have to make those same mistakes. We can save you. Save you the trouble. But yeah, guys, that's all I ask is like, you want to directly support the channel, check out these links, trade, let me know how you like it, give me the feedback, and yeah, that's it. All right, have a good rest of the day, and we will see you later. Peace.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.